The camera's got a dang low battery in it. There's way too stupid lights on. I wonder. It's still as bright as heck.
Hello there. I am recording on a PRECOR model C-1802H. This cassette recorder was got at an estate sale and is DC bias. I had to replace the belt. This machine is a little bit off speed and probably has a little bit of flutter. Now we'll be doing an external microphone. I'm now using an external microphone with this recorder. This recorder has automatic level control. It's very basic. Doesn't have any special features on it. Doesn't have a tone control, doesn't have an aux jack, doesn't have a pause, doesn't have a counter, doesn't have cue review. It's a very basic cassette recorder. Excuse me. But yeah. It's an old classic recorder. Let's see how this sounds. And I always say that phrase. I always say, let's see how this sounds, or let's see how this is, or let's see how this comes out, or something like that. I always say that at the end of my recordings.
Okay, well anyway, I saw a little bit of this machine. I actually got two PRECOR machines at the same estate sale. I'll now be showing the second one. The second one was found in this bag at the estate sale. And in it was the recorder, which is right here, and a pair of headphones, mono headphones, and it has an extension cord on it, and it also makes the big jack into a small jack. And this little nameplate, Mrs. Smith. So this was probably owned by a school teacher. The recorder was probably used at a school for playing educational tapes or something. Keep in mind the external mic I used in these recordings is a Sony microphone model F27S. Okay, I'm now recording on the other PRECOR cassette recorder, which is model C1800R. And this cassette recorder, of course, also is DC bias, and it records really, really strong. And it says it has automatic level control. I'm going to give a shout out to another YouTuber, because there's a YouTuber who has a Sharp cassette recorder, which is extremely similar to this recorder, which records like really, really, really terrible sounding DC bias. This recorder is like very, very, very similar to that recorder. Might use the same electronics and similar mechanics. This one doesn't use a fiber belt though, I don't think. But for the take-up. But this one is, I think I also had to replace this one's belt. The electronics are working fine on it. But as you can hear, the sound quality is pretty distorted at the letter S. This one has no built-in microphone. I have to use a separate microphone with this recorder. So I hope you enjoy this demonstration of this PRECOR recorder, likely owned by a school teacher. Well, I'm so sure it was owned by a school teacher. see how this sounds.
Hope you enjoyed it, and to eject, you simply see that's elevated like that. You just tuck your fingers under it, do that, it goes in like that. See how it is in there. A whole lot of free space inside there. I think it uses a Canon motor. Don't just assume I got all the space in the world to show my videos. Both work tables in the laundry room filled up to the brim with junk. On a side note, here is a Zenith stereo. You may wonder, why is it all opened up? Well, here's the thing. There was a console stereo being thrown out by the side of the road. And it had probably been maybe rained on, or I don't know, but it wasn't clean. But the console stereo being thrown out, of course I'm not going to just let the thing go to waste. But we don't have room for a console stereo. And I salvaged the speakers and receiver parts out of it. Had a turntable, but the turntable had no needle. Oh, they already had one that was just like it, except a different color. It's a Zenith. I'm not going to demonstrate it here. I'm already taking up enough time describing this. But I think it's an American-made receiver. I don't see it say "Made in USA" on it anywhere, but just the way things are on it, such as transistors that are made by Motorola and being in the order of emitter-based collector (EBC) on the transistors, the little TO92 ones. It's making me think. I mean, that's evidence right there. I don't see any of the Japanese transistors that start with like a C or an A or something like that. So, plus it has a different kind of style of being put together. So I'm thinking that this is actually manufactured in the USA, which I find interesting. And of course, here's the speakers that came out. They look like they're weird. They're all shabby, but these stuff on it does not affect the sound quality. The speakers work just fine. I think that's just paint from the console that has dripped down onto the speakers. The diaphragms are actually surprisingly stiff. They feel more quality to pushing them more stiff and strong than they may look. And of course they've been faded in sunlight or something. As you can see, they're not black, they're all tanned from sitting there. Got a separate power supply section. Crossover network for the tweeters. That's a tweeter there. It also uses these little horn tweeters, which are really nice. And I plan one day, when I get time and all the material and everything, I'd like to build a container. I'd build a box for the receiver and build boxes for the speakers and make it like a regular stereo system. And it'd be quite awesome.
That hit Lee City